Hi, I'm Tom Barker. I've been playing with these trains for over 70 years. And maybe some of you have just found some up in your attic and you wonder how to make them work. So here in American Flyer 101 steam engines, we'll show you how to get them going. And then if there's something wrong, just write me an email and I'll help you out and get those trains back on the right track. One of the things that should have come with your set was the instruction book. Oftentimes these get thrown away. Therefore, I have scanned this and it is up on the American Flyer Facebook group page under Files. So you have to look at Files to find it. If you can't go there, send me an email. I'll give you my email address a little later, and I'll send you a copy. It will be in portable document PDF file format. This does have instructions on how to set things up, how to assemble the track, the simple things, how to make the connection between the transformer and the track, how to hook things up, like here. And I know many of you find them just before Christmas, and you want them running for the kids or the grandkids, and you get so frustrated. Well, that will happen, but we're here to help you. Both myself through email or through the American Flyer Facebook group page, where there are hundreds of enthusiasts who are happy to answer your questions. In the service kit, there is a manual, and in the manual it shows you all the different parts. Now, that's an important consideration that we need if you're going to talk to some of these people on the American Flyer Facebook group page, because they'll use some terms that may sound technical to you. Some of the terms they're going to talk about are reverse units. This happens to be the thing that is probably the most problematic in American Flyer operation. It will be usually found in the tender, not coal car, because besides coal, this has water. Not in American Flyer, but in real life, because the steam engine needs water to operate. So the tender will usually have the reverse unit in it. Sometimes in the earlier versions, the reverse unit was mounted up in the boiler. This is the front end of the engine that we're looking at. But for most of the people who have these American Flyer electric trains, the reverse unit is going to be in here. Now, one of the problems that we encounter is they put a locking lever in this engine so that you can keep it going in one direction, frontwards or backwards, usually frontwards, by locking this lever. Unfortunately, when you pick these trains up, you sometimes grab it underneath and lock the lever. It goes into a forward, neutral, reverse, neutral sequence. So you get to go to neutral twice. And that means 50% of the time you're going to be locked in neutral, which means it'll hum, the light will turn on, but it won't go. Unlock that lever, and that is explained why you have such a thing in the instruction book that you should read before you begin trying to get your train to run. The motor. Here is a cutaway of a Gilbert motor. By the way, this was used in the World War II airplanes that helped win the war. That's what it says in one of their catalogs. This is the motor. It's called an open frame. You can see in it. You can see these parts, and to identify these, you need to know what they are. So what are the parts in the motor? Well, there is the field. The field makes the magnetic strength which turns the armature. Some people call it that thing that spins around in the motor. The armature fits within the field, and it's all held with the brush caps pieces that we see here. What is a brush? A brush rubs against the commutator. There are 3 segments in this commutator. And the brush brings electricity to the magnets. There are 3 of them on an armature. And this is what causes the armature to spin around. Of course, I don't have the jigs holding it as you would in here. See how it spins, goes around? Don't attempt to rotate the wheels. This has a worm drive. You cannot turn the wheels on these engines unless you put electricity to them. So we have the field and the armature, and then it's all held together with this piece that goes in the back with these screws that go through to the remainder of the motor. The brushes have springs on them, and you have to be very careful if you get to this point you want to take it apart, because the springs will spring right off and head off. Oops, see, it came right out. And probably fly across the room. And sometimes you can, yes, make the brush come right out. You'll see that there is a flange on the end that goes in so that the brush spring can push upon it and hold it. So you put in the brush with this part, the flat part, in first. The spring goes in next. It's a little hard for my old hands to play with this. Let's try the other end. Maybe that'll work better. And then you put on the cap for the brush cap. This gets to be quite a effort to put it together. I usually push down, pull back just a little bit, and then twist it. And make sure you don't get some of the spring into this, that it's all enclosed into the brush holder. So, those are some of the basic things, some of the basic operations that you can use to get your Gilbert American Flyer S-gauge trains running like they were 70-some years ago. Bye-bye.